First contact and escalation. The year was 2157 when humanity made its first contact with an extraterrestrial civilization. The Zarkeli, a highly advanced species from the Andromeda Galaxy, had been observing Earth for centuries. Their massive ships appeared in Earth's orbit without warning, causing a mixture of awe, fear, and excitement across the planet. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, Earth's foremost xenolinguist, stood before the United Nations Security Council, her heart racing. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice steady despite her nerves, "we have successfully established communication with the Zarkeli. They claim to come in peace, seeking to share knowledge and resources." The chamber erupted in murmurs and excited whispers. World leaders debated the implications of this monumental event, weighing the potential benefits against the risks of trusting an unknown alien species. Over the next few months, diplomatic relations between humans and Zarkeli progressed rapidly. Cultural exchanges took place, and the aliens shared some of their advanced medical knowledge, curing several terminal human diseases. The global economy boomed as alien technology began to integrate into human society. However, beneath the surface of this seemingly harmonious relationship, tensions were brewing. Captain Jack Harper of the newly formed United Earth Space Force couldn't shake off his suspicions. "Something's not right," he confided to his second-in-command, Sarah Chen. "The Zarkeli are too eager to share their tech. What's their angle?" Sarah nodded, her brow furrowed. "I've noticed discrepancies in their transmissions. It's as if they're hiding something." Their concerns were validated when a routine scan of a Zarkeli ship revealed a hidden cache of weapons far more advanced than anything they had shared with humanity. The discovery sent shockwaves through Earth's governments. When confronted, the Zarkeli ambassador, Selfor, became defensive. "These are merely precautionary measures," he insisted, his multifaceted eyes flashing with indignation. "Surely, you understand the need for self-defense in an unknown galaxy." But the damage was done. Trust, so carefully cultivated over months, began to crumble. Protests erupted worldwide, demanding the aliens leave Earth immediately. Military forces around the globe were put on high alert. The situation reached a boiling point when a misunderstanding at a joint human-Zarkeli research facility in the Gobi Desert led to violence. A nervous human guard, spooked by a sudden movement from a Zarkeli scientist, opened fire. The alien's personal shield absorbed the bullet, but the act was seen as a declaration of war by the Zarkeli. Within hours, Zarkeli ships worldwide began to power up their weapon systems. Earth's major cities found themselves under the shadow of enormous alien vessels, their intent now clearly hostile. In an emergency session of the UN, world leaders scrambled to form a united front. The newly appointed Secretary General, Adebayo Okafor, addressed the global population. "Citizens of Earth, we stand at a crossroads in human history. The Zarkeli, whom we welcomed as friends, have revealed themselves as potential conquerors. But humanity will not bow. We will not surrender. We will fight, and we will prevail." As Okafor's words echoed across the planet, humanity began to prepare for a war unlike any it had ever faced. Military forces worldwide were consolidated under a single command structure. Scientists and engineers worked around the clock to adapt and improve upon the alien technology that had been shared. Captain Harper found himself promoted to admiral, tasked with leading Earth's fledgling space fleet. As he stood on the bridge of the UES Defiant, Earth's first true warship, he felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. "All hands, battle stations," he ordered, his voice calm despite the chaos unfolding around the planet. "We're about to make history." The Zarkeli ultimatum came swiftly. Surrender Earth's resources and submit to Zarkeli rule, or face annihilation. Humanity's response was equally swift. A resounding no, punctuated by the first shots of the war as Earth's defensive systems opened fire on the alien ships. The skies above Earth lit up with energy weapons and explosions as the first battle for humanity's survival began. Despite being outgunned and outnumbered, Human forces fought with a ferocity that seemed to surprise the Zarkali. Admiral Harper's tactics proved invaluable. Using Earth's moon as cover, he led a daring attack on the Zarkali flagship, crippling its main weapons array. "We may be new to this game," he transmitted to his fleet, "but we're quick learners. Hit them hard, hit them fast, and don't let up." As the battle raged on, Dr. Rodriguez worked tirelessly to decrypt more of the Zarkali language, uncovering crucial intelligence. "They underestimated us," she reported to the UN Security Council. "They thought we'd be easy prey. We're proving them wrong." The first day of the war ended in a stalemate, with heavy losses on both sides. But humanity had sent a clear message: Earth would not fall easily. As the Zarkali retreated to regroup, humans worldwide celebrated their first victory while preparing for the long war ahead. In the aftermath of the battle, Admiral Harper stood before a holographic map of the solar system, planning the next move. "They'll be back," he said to his assembled officers. "And when they come, we'll be ready. Humanity's fight for survival has just begun." The alien invasion begins. The respite following the initial confrontation was short-lived. Within days, the Zarkali returned in force, their fleet now numbering in the hundreds. The invasion of Earth had truly begun. Admiral Jack Harper stood on the bridge of the UES Defiant, his face grim as he watched the enemy armada approach. "All ships, battle formation Delta," he commanded. "Remember your training. We're fighting for the survival of our species." The space around Earth erupted into a maelstrom of energy weapons and missiles. Human ships, though outnumbered, fought with a tenacity that seemed to surprise the Zarkali. Harper's innovative tactics, using the debris from the previous battle as cover and improvised weapons, allowed the human fleet to punch above its weight. On the ground, the situation was dire. Zarkali dropships breached Earth's atmosphere, deploying troops in major cities across the globe. The aliens, with their advanced technology and superior physiology, initially seemed unstoppable. In New York, Sarah Chen, now a colonel, led a desperate defense of the city. "Hold the line," she shouted over the din of battle, her powered armor scorched and dented. "Every second we resist is a second our scientists have to find a way to beat these bastards." The human spirit of innovation shone brightly in these dark times. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, working with a team of engineers, had a breakthrough. "We've managed to adapt their shield technology," she reported to the United Earth Defense Council. "It's not perfect, but it should level the playing field somewhat." This development proved crucial. As the new shields were rapidly produced and distributed, human forces found themselves able to stand toe-to-toe with the Zarkali ground troops. The tide of the ground war slowly began to turn. In orbit, Admiral Harper led a daring raid on a Zarkali supply convoy. "Cut off the head, and the body will die," he told his fleet. The operation was a success, dealing a significant blow to the alien logistics and buying Earth valuable time. But the Zarkali were far from defeated. They unleashed a new weapon, a massive energy pulse that disabled electronics across entire continents. Cities went dark, communications fell silent, and panic spread. In the chaos, heroes emerged. Communities banded together, finding ingenious ways to survive without modern technology. In a small town in Montana, a group of high school students rigged up a network of old ham radios, providing a vital communication link for the region. Dr. Rodriguez and her team worked tirelessly to counter the alien pulse weapon. "It's based on a technology they shared with us earlier," she explained to the Defense Council. "They never expected us to understand it well enough to defend against it." Their efforts paid off. A worldwide network of pulse-hardened systems was established, allowing humanity to regain its technological footing. The Zarkali, expecting to find a crippled opponent, instead met renewed and fierce resistance. The war settled into a grueling stalemate. Zarkali held several major cities, but their supply lines were constantly harassed by human guerrilla tactics. In space, neither side could gain a decisive advantage. Months into the conflict, a key moment arrived. Admiral Harper, acting on intelligence gleaned from captured Zarkeli data cores, led a precision strike on what appeared to be a command and control node in the alien fleet. The battle was fierce. The Defiant took heavy damage, its hull breached in multiple sections. "We've come too far to fail now," Harper growled, blood trickling from a gash on his forehead. "All power to forward weapons. We end this now." The Defiant's main cannon fired, a lance of energy that pierced the heart of the Zarkeli command ship. The alien vessel erupted in a spectacular explosion, taking several nearby ships with it. The effect on the Zarkeli fleet was immediate and dramatic. Their coordinated attacks fell into disarray, and for the first time since the war began, they were forced into a full retreat. As the alien ships fled Earth orbit, cheers erupted across human communications channels. Colonel Chen, standing in the ruins of Times Square, allowed herself a small smile. "We've won the battle," she said to her troops. "But the war is far from over." Indeed, even as humanity celebrated this victory, disturbing reports began to filter in. The Zarkeli were regrouping at a fortress they had established on Mars, and there were rumors of an even larger alien armada on its way from deep space. Admiral Harper, addressing the United Earth government, summed up the situation. "We've bloodied their nose and shown them we're not easy prey. But make no mistake, the real test is yet to come. We need to take the fight to them, push them out of our solar system entirely." Dr. Rodriguez, her eyes bright with determination, stepped forward. "We've learned so much from this conflict already," she said. "Give us time, and we'll turn their own technology against them. Humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to adapt and innovate." As the meeting concluded, plans were already being drawn up for a counteroffensive. Factories worldwide ramped up production of ships and weapons based on reverse-engineered Zarkeli technology. Training programs were established to create a new generation of space-capable soldiers. The invasion had brought out the best in humanity: its resilience, its creativity, its unwavering spirit in the face of overwhelming odds. As Earth prepared for the next phase of the war, one thing was clear: humanity would not go quietly into the night. The Zarkeli had awakened a sleeping giant, and they would soon learn the full consequences of their actions. Counterattack and innovation. 6 months into the war, humanity had moved from a defensive stance to one of cautious offense. The Zarkeli, reeling from their unexpected setbacks, had retreated to their fortified positions on Mars and the moons of Jupiter. Earth, battered but unbroken, turned its full industrial and intellectual might towards the war effort. In a secret facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Elena Rodriguez led a team of the world's brightest minds in a project codenamed Prometheus. Their goal: to fully understand and improve upon Zarkeli technology. "We're close to a breakthrough," Elena reported to the United Earth Defense Council. "We've managed to reverse-engineer their faster-than-light drive. With this, we can take the fight beyond our solar system." Admiral Jack Harper, his face lined with the stress of constant battle, leaned forward intently. "How soon can we implement this technology?" "We can begin retrofitting our existing fleet immediately," Elena replied. "But that's not all." She paused, a glimmer of excitement in her eyes. "We've also made progress on their quantum communication technology. If we can crack it fully, we'll be able to coordinate our forces instantaneously across vast distances." The implications were staggering. With FTL capabilities and instantaneous communication, humanity could potentially outmaneuver the Zarkeli on a galactic scale. While the scientists worked, humanity's soldiers continued to fight. Colonel Sarah Chen, now General Chen, led a daring raid on the Zarkeli stronghold on Mars. Her team, equipped with the latest in human-alien hybrid technology, infiltrated the fortress and extracted valuable intelligence. "We've got something big," Sarah reported back to Earth, her voice tense with excitement. "The Zarkeli aren't a unified force. There's a faction that disagrees with this war. They might be willing to help us." This information sparked a heated debate among Earth's leadership. Some saw it as an opportunity for a diplomatic solution, while others feared a trap. In the end, it was decided to pursue both military and diplomatic options. Admiral Harper was tasked with leading a mission deep into Zarkali-controlled space. The newly christened UES Prometheus, Earth's first true FTL-capable warship, would carry a small but elite force to make contact with the dissident Zarkali faction. As the Prometheus prepared for its maiden voyage, Dr. Rodriguez made another breakthrough. "We've developed a way to disrupt their energy shields," she announced. "It's not foolproof, but it should give our forces a significant advantage in combat." The mission launched under the utmost secrecy. As the Prometheus slipped into FTL, leaving the solar system behind, humanity held its collective breath. The fate of Earth could hinge on the success or failure of this expedition. Weeks passed with no word from the Prometheus. Then, just as fears of the mission's failure were beginning to mount, a quantum communication burst was received. "This is Admiral Harper," came the transmission. "Mission successful. We've made contact with the Zarkali resistance, returning with vital intelligence and unexpected allies." The Prometheus returned to a hero's welcome, bringing with it a delegation of Zarkali dissidents led by Zorax, a high-ranking scientist. "Our leaders have lost their way," Zorax explained to the stunned Earth government. "This war serves only to satisfy the greed of a few. Many of us wish for peace and believe our two species could achieve greatness together." With the help of Zorax and his followers, humanity's understanding of Zarkali technology took a quantum leap forward. New weapons were developed, defenses were strengthened, and strategies were refined. But the war was far from over. The majority of the Zarkali forces remained committed to the conquest of Earth, and now they were aware of the betrayal within their ranks. The response was swift and brutal. A massive Zarkali fleet, larger than any seen before, began to move towards the solar system. Their intent was clear: to crush both humanity and their own dissidents in one fell swoop. As the enemy approached, Dr. Rodriguez unveiled humanity's secret weapon. "We call it the Nexus," she explained, gesturing to a massive, pulsing orb of energy. "It's a quantum field generator capable of disrupting Zarkali systems on a massive scale. But to use it effectively, we'll need to get it close to the heart of their fleet." Admiral Harper, his eyes fixed on the holographic display of the approaching armada, nodded grimly. "Then that's exactly what we'll do. We'll give them a battle they'll never forget." As Earth's combined fleet moved to intercept the Zarkali invasion force, a sense of grim determination settled over humanity. This would be the decisive battle, the moment that would determine the fate of not just Earth, but potentially the entire galaxy. The stage was set for the greatest conflict in human history. As the two fleets closed in, the tables turned. The vastness of space erupted into a dazzling display of energy weapons and explosions as the human and Zarkali fleets clashed. Admiral Harper, standing on the bridge of the UES Prometheus, barked orders as his ships executed complex maneuvers, making full use of their newfound FTL capabilities to confound the enemy. "Group Alpha, jump to Sector 7 and flank their left wing," Harper commanded. "Beta Squadron, prepare to deploy the Nexus on my mark." The human fleet, though still outnumbered, fought with a coordination and adaptability that seemed to catch the Zarkali off guard. Ships blinked in and out of existence, appearing where least expected and striking with devastating precision. On Earth, Dr. Rodriguez and her team monitored the battle from a command center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. "The Nexus is charged and ready," she reported, her voice tense with anticipation. "But remember, we'll only get one shot at this." As the battle raged, the true nature of the conflict began to reveal itself. The Zarkali fleet, despite its size, showed signs of internal strife. Some ships seemed to hesitate, their fire less coordinated, while others fought with a fervor that bordered on desperation. Zorax, the Zarkali defector, provided crucial insights. "Their fleet is divided," he explained, his multifaceted eyes reflecting the holographic battle display. Many of the ship captains are beginning to question the wisdom of this war. If we can demonstrate our strength decisively, we may be able to turn more to our side. Admiral Harper saw his opportunity. All ships, execute Operation Thunderbolt, he ordered. At his command, the human fleet split into 3 groups. 2 engaged the flanks of the Zarkali Armada, while the third, led by the Prometheus, drove straight for the heart of the enemy formation. The Zarkali, caught off guard by the audacious maneuver, scrambled to reposition their forces. In the confusion, Harper's strike team penetrated deep into their lines. "Now, Doctor," Harper shouted over the comm. "Activate the Nexus." Dr. Rodriguez took a deep breath and initiated the sequence. The Nexus, housed in a specially designed ship at the center of Harper's formation, came to life. A wave of quantum energy pulsed outward, washing over the Zarkali fleet. The effect was immediate and dramatic. Zarkali ships began to lose power, their weapons and shields flickering and failing. Some drifted aimlessly, while others spun out of control. "It worked," Elena exclaimed, her eyes wide with a mixture of relief and amazement. "Their systems are completely disrupted." With the enemy fleet in disarray, the human forces pressed their advantage. Ship after ship fell to their concentrated fire. Those Zarkali vessels still capable of fleeing did so, jumping to FTL in a desperate bid to escape. As the dust settled, it became clear that humanity had achieved something unprecedented, a decisive victory against a technologically superior foe. The remaining Zarkali ships, realizing the futility of further conflict, signaled their surrender. In the aftermath of the battle, as human and allied Zarkali ships began the process of securing prisoners and salvaging technology, Admiral Harper received a transmission from an unexpected source. It was from the Zarkali homeworld itself. "This is High Counselor Vexera of the Zarkali hegemony." The transmission began. "We request a cessation of hostilities and the opening of diplomatic channels." The news spread quickly, igniting celebrations across Earth and its colonies. Humanity had not just survived its first interstellar war, it had emerged victorious. But amid the jubilation, Earth's leaders knew that the real work was just beginning. How would humanity handle its newfound position of strength? What would be the terms of peace with the Zarkali? And what other challenges awaited them in the vast, unexplored reaches of the galaxy? Admiral Harper, looking out at the starfield from the Prometheus's observation deck, summed up the mood. "We've won the war," he said to Dr. Rodriguez, who stood beside him. "Now comes the hard part, winning the peace." As diplomatic preparations began for the first official meeting with the Zarkali leadership, humanity stood at the threshold of a new era. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now beckoned with the promise of adventure, discovery, and perhaps new challenges to overcome. The war had forged humanity into something new, a spacefaring civilization ready to take its place among the stars. Whatever the future held, Earth would face it united, tempered by the fires of conflict and driven by an indomitable spirit of exploration and innovation. Endgame and aftermath. The gleaming spires of New Geneva, Earth's first extraterrestrial colony on Mars, played host to one of the most significant events in human history. Representatives from Earth and its colonies sat across the table from a delegation of Zarkali leaders, including both those who had prosecuted the war and those who had opposed it. Admiral Jack Harper, now serving as Earth's chief military advisor, studied the alien faces before him. Despite months of interaction with Zorax and other defectors, he still found it challenging to read their expressions. But there was no mistaking the tension in the room. High Counselor Vexera, the leader of the Zarkali delegation, spoke first. "We have come to negotiate terms of peace," she said, her translator conveying a mix of resignation and dignity. "The conflict between our peoples has exacted a terrible toll on both sides. It is time to end this madness." Dr. Elena Rodriguez, serving as part of Earth's diplomatic team, leaned forward. "We agree," she said carefully. "But before we proceed, we need to understand. Why did you initiate this war? What drove the Zarkali to seek the conquest of Earth?" A murmur ran through the Zarkali delegation. Vexera's eyes narrowed, and for a moment, it seemed she might refuse to answer. But then Zorax, seated among the Earth delegation, spoke up. "Tell them the truth, Vexera," he urged. "If we are to forge a lasting peace, it must be built on honesty." After a long pause, Vexera nodded. "Very well," she said. "The truth is, we were afraid." The revelation stunned the human delegation. Admiral Harper's brow furrowed. "Afraid? Of us? But you were far more technologically advanced." "It was not your technology we feared," Vexera explained. "It was your potential. In all our travels across the galaxy, we had never encountered a species that adapted and innovated as quickly as humans. We saw in you the potential to surpass us, to upset the balance of power we had maintained for millennia. Some among our leadership believed that subjugating humanity was the only way to ensure our continued dominance." The room fell silent as the implications of this confession sank in. It was Dr. Rodriguez who finally broke the silence. "So the sharing of technology, the seemingly peaceful first contact, it was all a ruse to assess our capabilities." Vexera nodded, her alien features showing what might have been shame. "Yes, we underestimated you. We thought we could control the flow of technology, keep you dependent on us. Instead, you took what we offered and improved upon it at a rate we could scarcely believe." Admiral Harper couldn't help but feel a surge of pride at these words. Humanity's greatest strength, its adaptability and innovative spirit, had not only saved it from conquest, but had elevated it to equal standing with a far older and more established galactic power. As the negotiations proceeded, it became clear that the balance of power had shifted dramatically. Earth, with its newly acquired and adapted technologies, now stood as a formidable force in the galaxy. The Zarkali, their fleets decimated and their society divided, were in no position to make demands. But the human delegation, led by the wisdom of leaders like Harper and Rodriguez, did not seek to humiliate their former enemies. Instead, they proposed a partnership, a sharing of knowledge and resources that would benefit both species. "We've seen what conflict between our peoples can do," Harper said, addressing both delegations. "But imagine what we could achieve together. The Zarkali have centuries of experience navigating the complexities of a galactic community. We humans bring a fresh perspective and a drive to innovate. Together, we could forge a new era of exploration and discovery." The negotiations lasted for weeks, but in the end, a historic accord was reached. The Zarkali hegemony and the United Earth government would form an alliance, pooling their resources and knowledge to explore the galaxy together. A joint council would be established to oversee cooperative efforts and mediate any future disputes. As news of the peace agreement spread, celebrations erupted across Earth and its colonies. The war that had threatened humanity's very existence had instead catapulted it onto the galactic stage. In the years that followed, the alliance between humans and Zarkali bore fruit beyond anyone's wildest dreams. Joint scientific endeavors led to breakthroughs in medicine, energy production, and space travel. Cultural exchanges fostered greater understanding between the two species, and trade flourished. Earth's colonies expanded rapidly, with humans and Zarkali working side by side to terraform Mars and establish outposts on the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. The first joint human-Zarkali deep space expedition set out to explore the Andromeda galaxy, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of both species. But perhaps the most profound change was in humanity's view of itself and its place in the universe. No longer were humans alone in the cosmos, nor were they helpless in the face of advanced alien civilizations. They had proven themselves capable of not only surviving first contact, but of thriving and taking a leading role in shaping galactic affairs. Admiral Harper, now retired and serving as an advisor to the Joint Council, often reflected on the incredible journey humanity had undergone. From the brink of subjugation to standing as equals with an ancient alien civilization, it was a transformation he could scarcely have imagined when the Zarkeli ships first appeared in Earth's skies. As he watched a group of human and Zarkeli children playing together in a park on Mars, Harper smiled. The future, once so uncertain, now seemed bright with possibility. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged stronger, wiser, and ready to take its place among the stars. The war with the Zarkeli had indeed been a baptism by fire, forging humanity into a true spacefaring civilization. And as Earth looked to the future, to the vast unexplored reaches of the galaxy that awaited them, one thing was certain: whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity would face them with the same spirit of innovation, adaptability, and determination that had seen them through their darkest hour. The stars, once distant and forbidding, now beckoned with the promise of adventure and discovery, and humanity, standing shoulder to shoulder with their former enemies turned allies, was ready to answer that call.